Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Mustard Seed. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ryan. Join us on our journey.
It's Wednesday morning. You know what that means. So what's new? How was your trip? Got a lot of golfing done?
Yes, I did, man. Yeah, just got back. Just came straight here. Ronnie and Elliot are sitting in the car.
Believed you for a hot minute. They can go inside.
Yeah, just kidding. Guys, I got to record. Hold on. No, dropped them off at home. But yeah, we drove home this morning.
What time you leave?
We left at 9:30 in the morning. So we're recording this on a Saturday. We'll be coming out on Wednesday. It was a great week, honestly. It was just so much fun. I actually I'm usually bad with my phone, but I really made a point this week to just refresh and do nothing.
Just leave it at home?
Just leave it at home. Well, I had it with me, but it was one of those I just wanted to relax for a week, and it was so nice. Just to hang out, play golf. We went to the lake. I mean, it was just so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was an
Any
awesome trip.
hole-in-ones?
No hole-in-ones. Ace cams were live, but we didn't get any hole-in-ones. I did play really well.
How many times did you play?
I played 3 times.
Nice.
Yeah, we got out Friday and Sunday, and then I played with Mr. Peck.
Full 18, or you did?
18 each time, and then Mr. Peck and I played 9. We were just kind of messing around.
18 takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, we got out bright and early. It was so nice. This is probably one of my favorite things in the world is morning golf. We teed off around 7:40 a.m. and it was brisk PA. It was a nice brisk, cool breeze in the morning. The dew on the ground.
Nice.
And then it got warm towards the end. It was just
that's how they get this in the core.
That's how they get the core water. We figured it out. I saw the guy out on the golf course picking up all the dew.
Oh, he must be collecting it for the core
Yeah,
water.
he's like, I work for core. He's like, this is where we're plant-based.
Now, let me explain that.
Yeah, get into this.
So I'm dyslexic, as most of you may know, and I read 100% recycled, and I saw the plant and the P, and I just... Not plant, it's just plastic. I saw the leaf on it, and I thought it was, what's it called?
Plant water.
Plant water. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Never thought that. That must be why it's good for hangovers.
Honestly, when I was thinking about that, because from you saying it, I was like, maybe that's something we're missing here. We should start collecting water from plants.
The plants.
Maybe that's the next big beverage.
You ever see in Bug's Life, they take the water
right out of the leaf. And it's huge.
See, they were ahead of times.
Exactly.
But sorry to interrupt.
No, that's
the morning dew.
The morning dew. No, it's just the best. That's my favorite part of there. The trip was just getting out on the golf course. But it was just so much fun to hang out.
They have a beautiful course.
Yeah, I love that place.
Actually, that's why I have become more enjoying golf. I never liked it. Then we went on James's bachelor party trip. We golfed, and I kind of fell in love. And now I have a putting green in my backyard.
Yes, there you go. It starts there. Actually, that's probably a great place to start is putting.
Yeah.
You can make
I'm actually getting pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah. There you go. Well, we should do that again next time we do a trip and we play golf in Woodlock, or we just do a golf trip in general, or just play golf here. And then we could do a scramble. Yeah. So you play the best ball, and that's where you make all your money. If you're draining putts, everyone's going to want you on their team. So
I'm learning how to get the ball straight, though. I still cut. I still got that baseball.
You slide across it. Exactly.
But I got that line drive. I don't got a deep one. I got a nice line drive.
You kind of keep it low. Yeah. Shoots out there.
But
I love golf.
Spray the field.
Yeah. Spray
the field.
Yeah. You're here to hit gap to gap. In golf, though, we wanted to go dead straight. But yeah, great trip. I really enjoyed it. It was so fun. Elliot, I feel like every time we go to Woodlock, Elliot does something new, and I think it's just the space because it was he just had the full reign of the house.
Oh, nice. So he was loving it
and watching the girls and just kind of taking it all in. It's so cute watching them all hang out. When we went in February and Elliot seeing all of them, It was kind of the same thing, but now he's pulling himself up to everything, like just standing up on his own, and he'll let go and kind of stand there for a little bit and then plop down. So yeah, I'm sure soon enough he's going to be running around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great trip. I'm glad to be back. Back into the real world.
Yeah.
This was the first time I feel like I took a trip and actually like took a trip, because it was normally like we've just done some weekends.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
leaving
you've
there.
been to Woodlock so many times this year, so it's
Exactly,
like-
exactly. But this was different. Like this was like a full on vacation, you know? And like leaving there, I was like, oh man, gotta go back to work. Like gotta go back to life.
Didn't Gus from Brisk Iced Tea call you?
Yeah, I got a voicemail. Actually, right as I was about to play golf with Mr. Peck, I got a voicemail. And obviously, I knew it was you because it said voicemail Andrew Heschel. But I looked at it and it said like the translation. You know how it like transcribes it. It was like this is
always
Gus
wrong
from Brisk, and then like there's a bunch of spaces. And I was like, Arizona stinks. I was like, what is going on? And then I had to listen to it, but it was Andrew. Yeah, so I did get a voicemail. It was a rude awakening back into work.
Welcoming you back.
Yeah. So
We have a friend here, Bible Man.
that's right, we do.
I found my old childhood toy at my parents' house, and I was like, oh, Bible Man's got to hang out with us.
That was the unwrapping that we did in the early episodes, and we just never got Bible
we got
Man.
the villains.
We got
but
the
I
villains.
was talking about that with Josh.
Yeah, and that's actually Bible Man.
Yeah.
There's a TV show with that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this guy. Good old Bible Man. You got a box right here. Is this
Yeah, we're open at the end. Someone sent us this, the Harris's. We'll open it at the end.
all right? Sounds good. Save it there. Here, you want to take Bible Man?
Bible Man.
Cool.
I had a question for both of you. I saw, those interesting things like, what would you rather give up? Would you, and you can never have it again. Would you rather give up pizza or pasta? For me, it would be pizza because there's so many different varieties of pasta. So you don't have to have like just spaghetti and meatballs. Like there's, penne alla vodka, ravioli. So like, what would you give up?
Well, I think you could probably say the same with pizza. There's so many many varieties. So I don't know. It's kind of the same world though. It's
Yeah,
it is the same world,
sauciness.
right? It's both. I immediately heard that, and I thought I can give up pasta.
yeah. I'd probably give up pasta.
Pizza is just top notch, man. Pasta, I feel like I can handle, because I can eat a meatball plain, right? If I cut out pasta, it's not like
I got
I'm
sickles on
losing
your
a meatball.
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, I can put meatballs on my pizza. I think I can handle that. Pizza is just, you can do so much with pizza.
I like pasta, so I would give up pizza more because also I don't have a gallbladder, so pizza does not agree with me because it's too greasy. So
Yes. All right,
that's why
so
if I had it, probably if I didn't, I would probably get but
you probably have to give up pizza anyway.
yeah, pretty
So
much.
it's like
The only ones I can have is the grandma slice because it's not as greasy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But that's the best. I love the grandma. Like
Remember-
I couldn't give that.
Remember
up.
the
That's so
place
good.
by grandma? She used to get the pepperoni and just like we would probably fill this cup with the grease that came off.
Was
of
that
part.
sun-dried tomato?
She always got from Sun Dry, but it was the one down the block by Checkers over there. She used to get from,
Oh.
right? It was a little far from her house.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, I don't like that. When you pick up pizza and the grease starts dripping out, I don't like that
You
at all.
ever see like a little kid after they eat pizza and just like a grease beard just on them? It's like, ugh.
That like reminds me of like Sports Plus when we would go and it would always have like all the birthday parties. You'd always get pizza and soda and just get like a greasy pepperoni slice and
Yeah.
then like orange soda.
Orange
And then
soda.
everyone
Yeah,
would just
why
be
was
running
orange
around with
soda always a
mustaches.
staple?
Yeah, it only tasted good at the pizza parties.
Yeah.
All right, so-
I think like what's it called? Bud Light tried to do that. They tried to make an orange soda like
oh yeah, I
like-
saw that. An orange. Yeah, the can is orange.
I thought it was gross.
I haven't had it. I don't think I've had it.
Oh, don't. Actually,
Yeah.
it's probably gone because it was so bad.
Was it actually orange flavored or was it like an
it tasted like
Oktoberfest type of
no, it
thing?
was like orange flavored.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's not something I think I would combine.
yeah.
No.
Well, like I don't like what's it called? Grapefruit and tangerine.
Like the
Yeah,
truly, like the
those
seltzers.
types. Yeah,
That's all right. Well, I guess at least it's coming from more of a like a seltzer base. Like I couldn't imagine combining
a beer.
But that's where like IPAs and like craft beers, they make their living. I feel like with all the fruit flavors and the grapefruits and the hazy IPAs and all that stuff. So it works there. But I wouldn't think about it with a Bud Light. Like that's not really where I'm.
Bud Light.
We'll have to maybe one day with all this beverage talk, we should start creating some signature drinks.
When Jesus was making the wine at the wedding, they're like, "Oh, can you give it a little more fruity flavor?"
Like, please make it sangria.
Yeah, sangria, Jesus.
Did he have to check with everyone first?
He's like, "What are you guys feeling? White or red?"
You went with the red. Good choice. So, did you see the Manti Te'o documentary that came out this week?
I did. I saw it. I didn't even know it was coming out, and I went on Netflix and I put it on at like 8:00, and I had work the next day, and I was like, "Oh no, this is good."
Yeah,
and I watched the whole thing. I think it was 2 hours.
Yeah, it was about 2 hours because it was 2 different like episodes.
It was
so interesting.
I mean, take his dad's a jerk.
You think so?
Yeah.
That was your reaction to it?
Like his dad's like, after he told him what happened, how he got catfished and all that, and he found out, he's like, "How could you do this to the family?" It's like, okay, guy, you're with me, what, bringing home $300 and you have how many kids?
Yeah, right? Didn't he say that? There was 11 kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big family.
Banking it all on him to make the
Manti.
money. I mean, it messed up his draft status.
Crazy.
He would have been a giant, apparently.
Crazy. So for those who don't know, Manti Te'o is a football player. I think he's still in the NFL. I believe he's still playing. I think he's on the Saints. So he was big, obviously being a Notre Dame fan, he was
the guy.
Oh, the guy.
Which the beginning of it, when he went there, he was miserable. And he's a Mormon. So
yeah, that was interesting.
I didn't know that. So,
I didn't. Well, they named the church. It was Jesus and the Latter-day Saints. Was that what it was? Why did that pop in my head? And that's Mormon. And I did not know that was Mormon. Yep. Which was interesting because they did talk about like their faith and how
he kept
that was
talking,
important to him.
That was a reoccurring thing.
His upbringing and how that kind of shaped and molded him as a person. I thought that was a cool note. I think that is so true when it comes to sports.
Before he chose Notre Dame, he went and prayed about it. And he took it as, like, I thought that was cool.
Yes, because he grew up a USC fan.
Yeah.
And said, he basically was like, "Lord, like, where should I go? Like, I'm offering this to you. Show me the way."
Like, yeah, it's weird how, like, when you're younger, you're like, now I'm an Ohio State fan because my best friend went there. So, and I went to, on the field and been there. And so
they call that the shoe?
The
Ohio
shoe.
State? Yeah, right? Okay.
And, what's it called? When I grew up, I always liked Miami, and that's where I wanted to go, and I wanted to the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like gravitate towards something else.
Of course.
Kind of like what he did.
Yeah, right? Well, for me, it was always Notre Dame.
Did he play with Justin? No, Justin Tuck?
No, Justin Tuck was before him. Yeah. So this was around 2012 was that big run. Basically, and it was interesting because they really exposed and presented the whole idea that this was like a longer relationship, which was interesting. So basically, Manti Te'o got catfished. He ended up creating a relationship with this guy through the internet, through Facebook, and he didn't know.
He thought it was a girl.
He thought it was a girl, and he had this long distance relationship. And when you think about the nature of his schedule as a football player, as an athlete, like,
she came in at the perfect time. If you watch the doc, because he was lonely, not enjoying the school, and then someone from like his home culture,
had connected with the girl too at the same time. So he had someone who he can just talk to, and with the nature of being committed to football practices and not really having the time to meet. Yes, the faith part of it was the connection too, and for him, it felt natural that he didn't need to meet this person because my schedule was so busy. And then I had someone who I can just kind of talk to online. So then obviously as that relationship developed, because they would talk so often online or through texting, then it turned into a little bit more of a relationship. And then it turns out the person obviously is not real. It's a guy behind a screen.
Now a girl.
Then when they died, it was just a crazy story. So his grandma passed away. And then the catfisher tells Manti Te'o,
calls him as himself, as the brother, or
as the
something.
brother. It's so intricate with
the person
all of
should
it.
be in jail.
That's what I think is actually crazy and should maybe be brought to light a little bit more. Is like, how can the person kind of get away with doing all of that in the sense of?
I thought the crazy part of the whole documentary is like, because now the guy is a girl now.
Yes.
I guess. What's it called? So he was like, oh, I can't believe he released the voicemails. Those were like, he had to clear his name. What do you mean? Can't believe you did what you did.
Yeah, like she talked about it and the part at the end, and it was just like I wasn't happy with what I did, and it was like, you just told Manti Te'o, right, who was on the biggest stage in college football that year because Notre Dame was undefeated on his way to a national championship, and decided, I need to end this relationship, but I don't know how, so I'm just gonna tell him that I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think he's gonna react to that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, all right, like my girlfriend died, and I'm just not gonna mention anything. That football season, though, because I just remember it to a T following that year, was the best. I've never seen a defensive player impact a football game as much as Manti Te'o.
So the championship game messages him or calls him or whatever and says, like, I'm alive. Gets the girl to send the picture.
Right before, I think it was before the Heisman ceremony or something like that.
Yeah, and then they played the game the next day, and he played not that good.
Yeah, they played terrible. They got blown out in the national championship.
And they kept throwing it at him like it was all his fault. But I'm like, oh, come on, it's a whole team. But yeah, I get it. But
the person decided, wait, I don't think I want this relationship to be over. Gets back in touch with Manti Te'o and says, I'm alive. He's like,
I had
what?
to lay low. And he's like, send me a picture with initials. And so he got the girl from high school that
real
he was
person.
Stealing the pictures from.
Right.
Like, I have a family member in the hospital. Just throw up this. And
Jeez Louise.
yeah, it was all like it's
crazy.
evil.
Crazy
like manipulation.
stuff.
Like,
And this guy, it cost Manti Te'o millions. And I mean, honestly, like I always just thought like he made up a fake girlfriend. Like I didn't really look into it or read the stories or anything. So I always thought like you just heard like, oh, he had a fake girlfriend and then said she died. Like I thought he made the profile, you know? And then you watch this and you're just like, wow.
Well, that's what the part that I think was nuts. And that's what it exposed, because this Deadspin article came out exposing the hoax, that it was like this girlfriend that we thought was real, it didn't exist. But it was interesting to hear in the documentary that the people who wrote that article were coming from the sense that they wanted to expose all of these news
ESPN
medias and articles for covering this story without having any facts as to like if this person
And
was
literally
real
they
or
had
not.
to do was type in her name and it's like she didn't exist, or type in deadly car crash, nothing.
And then instead of the media kind of identifying like, oh, maybe we ran with something, because of course they wouldn't identify
No, they
that.
said he's gay.
They turned it on Manti Te'o and they were like, this guy created this, like, is he gay? Like all of that. And I was like, I don't know if you'd be able to get away with that sort of coverage
No, not
today,
now. Definitely
right?
not.
It was very bizarre. And the media crushed Manti Te'o. I mean, he did not. And it was kind of sad to hear him talk about how his NFL career was affected so much.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I couldn't play football anymore. Like, I just wasn't myself. I couldn't imagine being like on top of the world like he was. Everyone talking about how you're going to be this next best thing. And then all of a sudden you walk outside and everyone is like yelling at you for creating a fake girlfriend that you didn't.
Yeah.
It's a wild story. It was really interesting. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a whole series, the basketball ref who...
I saw that. They're diving into all these different sports
So
stories.
it's pretty cool.
Also, the friend, before we finish this topic.
The white guy?
Yeah, and he was like, my job as Manti Te'o's closest friend was to protect him. And he's like, I really thought the whole thing was kind of fishy, but I didn't want to say anything. It was like, maybe you should have said something from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, how did you let all of that play
what was
out?
crazy? Like, she reached, or he, whatever, reached out to, like, became friends with, like, his cousins. And, like, that's what he verified it, like, through people, like, okay, she's real then.
Yeah, like, I've had conversations with her, but it was only online.
Yeah.
It's a wild story. And I surprised that not more of that goes on. But I guess nowadays you're a little bit more careful of it.
Manti, if you want to come on, we'll talk.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to Manti Te'o. I had pictures of
can
him
sit
in my
right here.
room. I loved Manti Te'o, man. That put Notre Dame on the map. They were going through such a...
of your girlfriend right here.
that was it. That was like
those were
that's
the
what they
jokes.
were talking about. The memes and everything. Like he just got destroyed. Poor guy, man. He was such a beast.
Yeah.
But hey, this year Notre Dame's going 12-0 again, and we're going to the national championship. So I'm gonna pray a rosary every week to Our Lady of Victory, and we're
Pretty
gonna
sure
get
God's a little busy. But
Notre
actually,
Dame's
you know
going
what's
to the
funny?
championship.
I saw someone did like a spoof online as the devil and God. Like, okay, who do you want to win the NFL series this year? and they were spitfiring, and the devil's like, nope, hard pass. And he's like, why not this one? And then it was funny, just like a little
Who made
comedy.
the deal with the devil to win the NFL Super Bowl?
No, it was just the teams didn't make a deal. It was just they
they
were
picking
saying like
who's
they pick. And the devil's like, I gave you the Rams last year because of Stafford and your good story. It's my turn to pick. And he's like, you just want Brady again, don't you? It's just a funny little
that's
thing.
pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, that's funny. I like it. So let's dive into our topic.
Oh, I actually had something I wanted to talk about that I came across. Just saw it on TikTok, and I read the article on it. In France, there's this famous painting. Maybe, I don't know, we could put it up. It's called Checkmate, and it's the devil playing someone, and there's an angel watching, and it's called Checkmate. Like, he lost, the devil won. Like, look, you see him in panic. And so the idea is that this guy was betting again, playing the devil, and he lost. But there was a tour group that went by, right?
I'm gonna look at it, Josh.
And there was this tour group that went by, and the guy explains it. They walk by, and one guy stays behind, and they're going to the next one. And he's like, "Sir, we're going to the next one." He goes, "They need to rename this painting." And they're like, "Why?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm a chess master, and the king has 2 more moves."
What do you mean?
So
the king has 2 more moves.
Like, it's called Checkmate, and it's saying that the devil won.
Oh.
So,
but the king is not checkmate. It's
Yeah.
check, but the king can still move.
yeah.
It's not checkmate.
So it's not over. It's never over, and it's just like a good reminder. Like, even like you're never
you're never out.
You're never out. God always has a plan for you. If it is whatever, it could be like financial stress or something like that, and there's always another move that God has for you. That's how I took it. That's like what I read. There's a guy who does a whole preaching on it, and it's just like very interesting, and just like it's cool to see like real things out there. And
What's this painting in France?
it's in France. I forget the name of the place.
Interesting. So it looks like from the picture
That
the guy who's in red, who you
Won.
portray as the
Yeah.
devil, has won. But looking at the board, there are actually moves
Yeah.
that the king still
Yeah.
has.
very interesting, right?
When you feel like you're down and out.
Yeah, there's always another move, and God's always got your back.
That's why the angel is in there being a little referee in the middle of that, saying, I got your back. That's interesting. There are so many, because that's where, right, with all those paintings, I felt like religion was so prominent in just like their lives and what was culture then, I wonder when that painting was, like the year.
Always, yeah. Look it up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Always, they always had those fat little baby angels, back then,
One day we'll figure out actually. Just little babies in diapers.
Yeah. Hey, Michelangelo, what were you thinking?
Yeah, maybe.
Angels are up there like, we do not look like that.
Yeah, right. They're like, come on, this is ridiculous. Little babies and angels. Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
So we got a big topic today.
The Prodigal Son. It's famous. A lot of people know this story, and I feel like too, though, it's also you can relate with both, right? You can relate with like even like how you said it on the podcast about how like your college days and going away, and same I can too. Like you can look at it that way, and then look at it as like the brother that stayed, the person who goes to church all the time, and then always annoyed at Christmas time when all these people come back, you know?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that we always think about the younger brother, but it's also about the older brother too, because like at the end, he kind of sins himself. He distances himself from the brother. He distances himself from the father. And we say, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those. And right there, he's not doing that.
Yeah. That's why that's a good point. And that's what I've noticed in the Great Adventure Bible from Ascensions. Instead of it called the Prodigal Son, it's the parable of the prodigal and his brother. Yeah. Key, right? They're two big.
That's the one thing. Like I always looked at it as like the younger son, which what he did, he's took the inheritance. He's just living in his father's house underneath the roof. And he just decided one day, like, I want to travel.
He took all of his inheritance and ran.
Yep, squandered it. After he squandered it and lived it up, he started working and he realized, like, oh, my father has it better. And the whole thing is like, so Luke always points out like that you can come back. He has like 3 different stories in there where it points to you coming back to Jesus, coming back to the Father. And that's what it is. Like the kingdom of heaven is the party. If you look at it that way, like you're getting welcome back. And it's about, forgiveness and just like how even when he came back, the father runs across the field to greet him. And it's just showing us how God will always forgive us and he's there for us. And we stray from the path and then you need to have remorse, you know? And it doesn't work if you don't have remorse. You can come back, and if you don't have the remorse that he does, like how he's like comes back and he's like, I want no recognition. I want to be a servant. I disrespected you, and just like having that remorse gets you into heaven. Like how I said, like forgive those who forgive. It's in a prayer. It's in the it's like a main thing. Yeah. It's in the.
That's why the Prodigal Son, that parable is probably one of my favorites, because I love that theme, and that's why it is one of my favorites. Is like the relentless love of the Father, and that just receivingness, and how the Father runs out to the Son who was lost and now is found. And you're right. There are 3 different parables that lead up to that. So this was Luke in chapter 15. So the Pharisees and the scribes were like murmuring against Jesus, as they always did. Those classic Pharisees. But they're talking about Jesus like, this man eats with sinners, and like, how can he do this type of thing? And it was always trying to kind of push back.
And that's the thing, like having your nose up in the air and like thinking you're better is not the remorse that you need to get into heaven and just like see things through others' eyes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's where there's so many layers to this parable for sure. We did an episode on this. This was episode 5. You listened to it again?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
I went back and listened to it again. It was funny to hear us talking from the beginning as we were just starting out and trying to figure out our way. Yeah. But we rose some pretty good points. We raised some pretty good points. We were talking about the repent, how he was repenting. We mentioned, that's how you said, kind of the idea of like, if you're separating yourself from like your faith, like you're receiving all your gifts and your sacraments, and then you're separating from the faith, but then coming back to your faith, that sort of image. So that was cool. So I'm glad we're talking about it again to kind of go a little bit further. But yeah, so those 3 parables were all about losing something and then it being found. And every time when something was found, there is this celebration and just an amazing kind of like reception of that thing being found. So it was interesting because it was the parable of the lost sheep. So they lose 99, or they have 100 sheep. They lose one. They're at the 99, and he finds the sheep and he's rejoicing and throws a party. The woman loses a coin, has 10 coins, loses 1 coin, finds the coin, comes back rejoicing with the coin. So those are funny images. It's like, you lost a coin. Who cares? Type of thing. And it's like, when we lose something, I don't know if I necessarily, it depends what I've lost, how much I rejoice afterwards. But I love that image to think about Jesus rejoicing and the Father rejoicing. I think this place is haunted, Josh. You got closets opening on its own. Something just fell before. There's Jesus opening the door for us. So it was just such a rejoice, and that image and idea of like the Father running to his Son. And I think that is something that can be like a cool reminder and something that can be like so uplifting to us during our faith journey of just that rejoice in what we can feel and when we come back to the Father.
And you just hope the older brother did at the end, because we don't know, because it ends with him telling him. But, you know, like I said, he has no remorse towards his brother being back. He's mad. He's annoyed. Yeah. Like, I've been here this whole time and I never had a party. No, you have a kingdom. You have this land. You have everything.
Yeah. I've tried to reflect on that a little bit more, because I felt like the prodigal son, the son is what's kind of talked about the most, but it's the second son too, of that is can almost feel like
kind of gloss over that.
Yeah. And I went into it a little bit more, listened to some different people on it. Like Father Mike Schmitz had some cool topics on it. But you realize too, like I started to realize how that can be more relatable in certain ways, because not everyone has walked away from like someone who's always been there. I felt like you can relate to that sometimes a little bit more as well. Like to think about the son who's like, I've been here though. Like why did I not have the calf? Like I couldn't even get a kid to have a little party with my friend.
It's the jealousy factor, and just always wanting what others have, and you're never truly going to be happy.
Yeah,
you're just going through the motions, you know?
Sure. Yeah, so there were 2 points that like I learned that like similar to that I thought was unique, and one was lacking joy. Like the brother did not have any joy for the fact that like his brother came home too. You know, like I can think of that as like is jealousy the right word? Greed? What's the word I'm looking for here? But it's like envious. You know, if you're envious of like what other people are doing or the success that someone might have instead of like celebrating in their joy. I know I fall into that a lot, where it's like be joyful for
so many people do, and especially like with social media, like you're looking at like, oh, look what they're doing, and I'm working so hard to get what I'm doing, and they're just gifted everything, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's an interesting thought of like there should have been a joy as well from the brother. This is your brother who came home too, and instead he was first thought was, man, why have I not gotten these things? So that was so interesting. But then this piece of it, I feel like really connected with me so much more than I think it ever had, was Father Mike Schmitz. It was in the Bible of the Year blurb, if you want to go back and listen to it. It was day 318. I found it. I went back and listened. But he talked about it in the fact that there was no relationship there between the oldest son and the father. And to think of it as a sense of this son has been there and he's been doing task after task. I've been plowing your fields. I've been doing everything that you asked of me, but I didn't have any sort of celebration like this son or my brother who has been off doing whatever it is that he wants. And now all of a sudden he comes back and he gets this big party. And the piece that Father Mike brought up, which was so neat, was that relationship that wasn't there. And I never thought about it in that way. And it was like, we can feel that in our faith of like, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Christian, and I have these like rules or these constant sort of like repetition of just like, this is how I have to be in my faith. But if it's lacking your relationship, if it's lacking a relationship with your Father, with Christ, they will feel that way. But he made it in this image. He's like, instead of coming down the stairs and you pick up your list of things to do and it's just like, here's another list of things to do. It's the opposite of that. It's sitting down and sitting with the Father and talking about the things that you need to do together. I thought that was so cool, and I love that for us in like our faith journey, to think of it as like, I guess what that can feel like.
You can look at it as someone who just like goes through the motions and just goes to church and like never really does anything about it, never prays, never feels anything. you just go because like that's part of your routine. Of
course.
And maybe that was like what the brother was going through.
Right.
Wake up, stay. But I feel like he stayed out of loyalty and just like taking care of what had to get done, and he couldn't abandon his father.
Sure. And that there's so much value in that too, you know, like what a great thing that he had done, but he couldn't even recognize that as well, you know, internally. And yeah, that relationship piece, because I found that has been a big piece for me within my life, and how my faith has deepened when I've focused on the fact that like there is a tangible relationship that the Lord is asking from us, like that he wants from us. And it's like, if you can figure whatever it is that works best for you to have that relationship with the Father, you can see so much kind of like
it would have
come out
if you didn't have the remorse and the younger brother coming back the way he did, and how he threw himself at his father and was like, treat me as not like, if he came back and was like, all right, I want my old room. I'm not doing any field work. Blew all your money. It would be totally, you're not making any progress. But I mean, I think that look at the party as heaven, right? You're getting welcomed into heaven, and that's
yeah. And it can be heaven. It's heaven in the sense of like, yeah, like we're striving for that to come to like the Father, and it couldn't be like also just a daily celebration in heaven for us here on earth. Like that's cool. That's a cool image to think about, like what goes on in heaven when we choose God. Like what you said, like when we repent, like if we go to confession and when we repent, what that party looks like in heaven, you know, for us. It's so cool. It's a cool image. And that's like our Father. Our Father is there looking out for us, like loving and running to us whenever we decide to turn to him. It's such a cool thing. It's an image that I think can help, like it's helped me. I don't know if it relates to everyone, but the image of a father and a son, and how like there is just this relentless love for us is really cool. It's been kind of a big push for me within like my faith, and that's why I really do enjoy this story.
Very good one.
Yeah, the actually one more piece I thought was kind of interesting for us within this story as well is like what the son was gifted when he came back, and he was gifted the robe, right, the ring, shoes for sandals for his feet, and the fatted calf, right? So all these celebrations, you know, you give him the best of the best. And like we were saying, how that is like just the Father's love. But I thought it was so neat. And I did the shoes on his feet, and how like he had the ability to go, like he was free again. Like he had shoes on his feet, so he didn't necessarily have to stay. Like he could leave again. And for us, like how many times do we leave again? But every time we come back, like Jesus is there with open arms.
Yep.
And I think that is so cool for us to continue to be reminded of like just this relentless love that we have. So I think I've rambled enough, but that's a great parable and a cool reminder for all of us each and every day as we continue on our faith journey.
Yes.
So I see you got this box here.
Yeah, we got a
do
package sent to us through the Facebook community. Shout out to them, 300 strong.
I've been slacking on the Instagram game. I'm gonna shout out. We should get that. I'm gonna get that plug out there. Instagram is mustardseed521 at mustardseed521. So I got some shorts that we had come out on YouTube that have been great, and we're gonna continue to build it up as we go.
3. So Josh.
All right, we got 3. Here you go, Josh.
Oh wow.
So what do we got here?
It's from the Harrises. Thank you. They've sent us things in the past. We appreciate you guys. We wanted to send some love. Thanks for letting us reach out. Every Wednesday morning, we say to each other, it's Wednesday morning. You know what that means. God bless you all. Keep up the good work. From the Harrises.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys so much. This is cool. Is it a claw? It's a compass.
Compass, yeah.
Did you open it? I couldn't get it open. It's really...
Yeah, it's really taped. Yeah.
Nice. This is great for media. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see the unboxing live.
Yeah.
There we go. Andrew got it open. It's a compass.
Nice wood box. Very well packaged.
Probably could add it up. Reminds me of Uncharted.
I'm glad that you guys are saying it's Wednesday morning to each other. That made me, while I was reading that, I was like,
You know what that means. Oh, that's really neat.
oh, there's a little.
Sir Nathan Drake.
Beautiful.
That's
Gotta
really cool.
go on one of those hikes we talked about with this.
There you go. That's
Read the back.
Their journey.
on our journey. Join us on our journey. Little compass. I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. I will advise you and watch over you. Psalm 32:8. Oh, that's pretty cool. This doesn't tell time though. Why is it looks like it's broken? No, I'm kidding. That was really cool. Good deal. So if anyone was wondering, our studio faces to the south. Does that make sense?
Yep.
There we go. The compass confirmed.
Thank you so much to the Harrises. You don't have to do this. We appreciate it. Thank you, and thanks for watching our videos. If you're new, please subscribe. Help us out. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a message if you have any Bible stories you want us to do.
Yeah.
You know, reach out.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Peace.